So in this section, we're going to talk about the grind of the coffee. We're going to talk about different ways of grinding the coffee, different equipment to use, and what you're looking to get out of the grind, because it is a crucial part of coffee brewing. So we have in front of us 4 different types of grind. But firstly, I want to ask you, Henry, why is grind so important to the finished product?
It's all about extraction. So whether it be a classic traditional espresso machine, cafetiere, AeroPress or Chemex, each one of these is going to be right for one of those purposes. You put this through a machine and it's too coarse, it's going to be wrong. So it's finding the right grind for the purpose. If it's too fine, the extraction time is going to take too long. You're going to get a bitter, astringent, bitter tasting coffee. No good. Even for espresso, if it's too fine and it drips through, you're going to get really oily, molasses, really thick, bitter tasting coffee. So it's making sure that the grind is correct for purpose, whether it be espresso, Chemex, AeroPress or another.
So it's really important that, because coffee is made up in such a way that it doesn't grind evenly. All these pieces are all different shapes. So the amount of contact time it has with the water is relative to the amount of extraction that comes out of it. So we need to make sure that we get the correct level. And it's not too complicated, is it? It's quite easy to do. But we need to make sure that the amount of time those coffee granules are in contact with the water is correct for the different brewing time.
Absolutely. And each one of the brew methods we're going to do today has a certain time and ratio. How many grams to water and what the end volume should be.
And these 4 different grinds in front of us now, do you mind just taking us through
Sure.
each one?
So we'll start with this one here. This one here is really coarse. If you can imagine sort of grit, this would be perfect for a cafetiere. I'll go on to why shortly. If I were to use this for an espresso machine, the water and pressure is going to come through really quickly. No good. It's kind of like the Goldilocks analogy. Porridge is too hot, it's not quite right, perfect. Now we're looking for the perfect grind for the purpose. This one here, by touching it, it's like flour. Can you see that? Yeah, it's just like flour. That's going to be too fine for espresso. It's going to take too long to come through. For a mocha pot, perfect. That's the Italian style of making coffee on the stove, where the water comes up through, bubbles through. Any Italian household will have one in the cupboard somewhere.
You're hiding one up there.
Oh, yeah, I'm indeed. There we go. Then we come through to this one. This is more of our cafetiere AeroPress, not cafetiere, Chemex and AeroPress kind of grind. So not quite as coarse as the first one for cafetiere, but again, not good for espresso. And then we come through to the final one here, which if we touch it, give that a go, Rich. Yeah. So it's not quite like flour. It's not as coarse as this one. And it's not as coarse as this one. But yeah, it's like sand. That is perfect for espresso. If I were to use this though for like an AeroPress or other brew method, it's not going to be any good because the water is going to take too long to come through and we're going to get a bitter tasting coffee. No good. So this one, espresso. This one for Chemex and AeroPress. This one for a mocha pot. And this one for our cafetiere.
Super.